How has it been preparing for a game like this?
It's been good so far. Kids were good. I think it was good that it was Thanksgiving week because the kids got a little break, so that part was good. But we never had to deal with anything like this. But it's 2020, man. COVID, you never know. So we were prepared for something like this to happen. You didn't know it was going to be the last one of the year, but we kind of knew something crazy would happen at some point. So here we are.
Coach White just said he and Coach Helton were probably two of the oldest coaches on staff, so they don't really mind an early morning kick. As a younger coach, how do you feel about it? Obviously, you're happy to be playing, but I guess what are your thoughts about an early morning kick and getting ready for it?
I'd play every game we could at 8 a.m. if they'd let us, especially the home games. There's nothing better than winning at early in the morning and getting to go home, and it's like a day off. So yeah, I like early morning games. When you go play an away game early in the morning, I think it's not as big a deal. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of early home games for sure.
And coming off probably the best offensive performance of the season, especially in the second half, you guys really fed off of the defense, it seems, and were able to put some things together. How has the things been going this week in practice after the success that you guys were able to have in the second half last game?
Well, I definitely think it helped our players' confidence. We've pretty much fed off the defense for 2 years, so that part's not new. I thank the Lord every day for Coach White. So and what those guys have been able to do on defense. Coach White is not only one of the better human beings that I've ever met in my life, but a phenomenal football coach. So, the things that we've done around here the last 2 years that I've been here on defense are nothing short of spectacular. So, to get those two defensive touchdowns in the game really gave our guys a spark, really gave our guys on offense some confidence. And then, it's like we've talked about, it's almost like beating a dead horse is you look at the drives that we scored touchdowns. We had a big play in the drive. We had two big long runs in the second half that got us down there. And look, in the first half, we went the couple scoring drives we had. We hit a big play, and that's college football. That's playing offense. Is you're not gonna have multiple 12, 13, 14, 15, heck, for us 18, 19, 20 play drives that we've had this year, and consistently be able to do that. You have to have, at some point in the drive, you got to have a big play. And we were able to do that a couple times, credit to those backs and, our perimeter blocking. We ran around them a couple times, which was good, and created that spark and got us to be able to win a game in convincing fashion and not have to have a heart attack at the end of the game.
And then, Coach, in the game last week, it looked like you guys were finally able to get over that hump of, getting into the red zone and drives not stalling, being able to finish and get into the end zone. Do you think, obviously, the big plays were a huge part of that? And was there anything else that kind of played a factor into y'all getting over that hump? And what are you guys looking to do to recreate that success against Charlotte?
Well, I think the quarterback down there early in the game and those couple drives in the second half, I think the quarterback made really, really good decisions. I think, what was it, twice he pulled it, kept it. And, that when you're in the red zone, man, especially inside the 10-yard line, which is what we call a tight zone, that makes it hard on the defense. Makes it hard because they got to go collapse. They're trying to stop the run. They know, what's probably coming. And, he was able to pull two of them, if I remember correctly, and score touchdowns, which allowed us on the next one to hand it off and get it in there pretty easily. So, the decision-making by the quarterback down there was really, really good. And, every week's different. We knew we were going to be able to do some of those things versus that team versus FIU based on the way they played. We're in a completely different game plan, a completely different team. They play things completely different. So, I would like to get down there a lot again and give ourselves a chance to see if we can do it again. And, hopefully the game plan and the guys can go out there and execute and get it done.
Coach, going off of that, Charlotte hasn't played in about a month. What's the scouting report on those guys?
Well, they're high energy, man. You watch the film and their sidelines, Coach Healy, they do a good job of creating energy for their guys and playing hard. Coach Healy's won a bunch of football games everywhere he's been and hasn't always had the easiest jobs. and was able to win at places that weren't known at the time for doing a lot of winning. So, you got to respect that. They got good coaches. You don't know. They had some guys out, that some of their better players that didn't play in their last game, but it's been a month, so we don't know. We really don't know who's going to play in the game. We'll see in pregame warmups, I guess, who's there and who's not. And we're preparing for all of them. They do a really, really good job. They're good everywhere on defense, but they really, really do a good job in the front end. Man, their defensive line really rushes the passer well, causes problems. I think last year we were one of the least sacked teams in the country, and they got 4 on us. So they do a good job of rushing the passer. Coach West has always, everywhere he's been, done a good job of having good D linemen, and it's no different this year. So we got to get the ball out. They're going to play some man coverage, and you got to go win versus man. You're going to have some one-on-one opportunities, and which if we do make a play, and then if you do catch it and you do make one miss, now you got opportunities to go create big ones. So, that's what we'll have to do.
And Coach, it seems like last week against FIU, Piggy just did a much better job of stepping up in the pocket and then also just using his mobility to escape the pass rush, but keep his eyes downfield and find the open receiver. Is that something you guys have been working with him throughout the season? Because it looks like just as the season progressed, that's an area of his game that has just really looked like it started to progress and get a lot better.
Yeah, we've harped on it a lot. The one third or fourth down in the red zone, going towards the tents, I thought he stepped up really nice, thought he was going to take off and run, and he kind of backpedaled out of it, ended up taking a pretty bad sack. But, you talk about running 65, 70 plays in a game, and there's one time I could think of that it didn't go well, So I thought he did a lot better job of that. I wish we would, hit the easy ones when they're there a little more. And I wish, I know he's got to do a better job of when you're outside of the pocket, hitting some of those balls in scramble drill. And part of playing quarterback, that's 75% of it. There's very rarely do you get to take a 3-step drop, take one hitch and throw the ball somewhere. You got to move in the pocket. You got to find throwing lanes. You got to step up. Maybe you got to make one miss, and, you got to go make plays. And then that's what the great ones do. And I thought over the last couple weeks, he's done a better job of that at times.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. I know you just mentioned one of the least sacked teams last year. That offensive line, they've been together for quite a while, and we've talked about them before. Coach Helton, when I've asked him about who might not be coming back next year with the extra year of eligibility, he hasn't really given any specific answers or conclusive answers to that. But 3 redshirt seniors there along that offensive line, could be their last time playing here. That group as a whole, what has it meant to this program throughout the years?
Well, man, the thing they bring every day, I talk about it all the time, especially to our team, is their toughness. Those 3 kids, man, they are the epitome of what makes college football great. Do they have a shot to go play in the NFL? I love them to death, but probably not. And they work their tails off. They play hard. They're great human beings. They show up every week, the things that people don't know about, beaten up, battered, bruised. A lot of lesser men wouldn't play sometimes at what those kids has had going on, and they don't ever bat an eye. They never, it's, hey, buddy, you okay? It's not just, yeah, coach, I'm okay. It's you damn right I'm okay, coach. I'll be right back out there. And then that's why you coach, man, to be able to coach kids like that love to play the game of football and that cherish football the way that I do, the way that I care about it. And, it's a game to a lot of people, but it's a livelihood to a lot of us. And those 3 kids, especially, they play the game the right way. And, man, it's been an honor to coach them. And, man, if this is the last one, we'll go out there. It'll be a lot of fun.
A little bit of an extended break between games now, I guess. What have you noticed from the guys in practice and stuff leading up to the Charlotte game?
Our guys have been very, very calm about it. They understand that, every single day probably on their phone, they see a team getting canceled or postponed so we actually, we're still happy that we're able to still come out and play and compete on a Tuesday morning. So.
And then, Coach, just what have you seen looking at the tape from this Charlotte team that makes them difficult to defend?
I mean, I would definitely say they are a difficult team to defend. Some teams have struggled against them. I will say, one, they have an experienced offensive skill position back. They have two really big running backs, and they have a history of a good offensive line. They have two. Nate Davis got drafted a couple of years ago, and then Cameron Clark was a guy he's on somebody's roster right now. So they have a history of good old line play, quarterback's experience, and I think they do a lot of things that make you have to defend the whole field. You have to defend all 11 guys, and that's what makes them difficult to defend.
Shared with the Daily News, the thing that really stood out last game was obviously the turnovers and the two defensive scores.
Yep.
What's it going to take to try to have another performance like that where you're getting those takeaways? I mean, maybe even if it's not the scoring part, but just getting those takeaways.
I think the most important thing is against this offense is make sure that you're lined up correctly, make sure your eyes in the right spot, and then whenever you get places, have the attitude that you want the ball. Have the physicality that you want to take the ball away from those guys. And I think that's the most important part. The ball's in the air. If we're connected to our receiver, we got to become the receiver. And that's kind of what we always talk about. And just get to the ball. And sometimes the ball's on the ground, just like Cray, and it may bounce your way, it may not, but we don't know that. So just make sure we're reacting the right way. And turnovers can happen, and they come in bunches. That's what we love about them.
Coach Helton always says not to judge it by one game or look at the whole body of work. Up to this point, for the defensive side of things, how would you judge the whole body of work that you guys have put together leading into this Charlotte game?
Leading into this game, I will say, here of late, obviously the month of November, I think that our guys have shown that, that we have a good defense. I think that's the most important thing, and is being consistent and finishing. It's not done. We're not done. So that, I haven't really had a chance to really look at the full body of work. There's some pieces of thing here, but I will say the last month, you look at the schedule and you reminisce on the game. You're like, wow, that was a good performance. Let's keep it up. And it's hard to do. It's not easy. It's not like we just show up to the park and like we're not we're the same talent level of the team that we're playing. So that makes it when you come out and have those kind of days, you kind of feel better about the performance. But it's hard to do, man. It really is. I promise you.
Coach, on Monday, Helton said, he likes the idea of the early kickoff time, but what do you think about it? And then just kind of what have your players kind of maybe said their thoughts are on the early kickoff?
Well, me and Coach Helton are probably two of the older guys on the staff, so we probably get up a little earlier than these young boys do. But I mean, you're a player. I think they don't mind playing that early. Because, that's life, that's football. Our motto on defense is put the ball down. We don't care what time, place, who, where, or when. So that's the motto we've been preaching since day one 4 years ago. But I think because you have to acclimate yourself to those times. So you have to get up earlier 3 or 4 days in advance to get your body clock ready. So I think that's the part that they hate the most. They don't care about playing somebody. We don't care what time we play them. It's the part of getting your body ready that kind of sometimes can be aggravating on a Sunday morning. You got to get up at 6 o'clock. On a Saturday, which today is Wednesday for us. I don't know about you guys, but so that guy's got to get up early tomorrow, which is Thursday for us.
So with that, I guess, how have you noticed the adjustments going so far with trying to adjust to that new schedule? And does that mean Turnover Tuesday went to Turnover Friday?
I don't know. It was still Turnover Tuesday for us. So don't confuse me right now, all right? It was still Turnover Tuesday. Like I said, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we cannot. The only weird thing about today was that you wanted to watch a little bit of college football because you had a feeling it was something. You knew something else was going on. That was kind of weird today, but for the most part, like I said, today's Wednesday. Not changing, brother.